This is so weird. Like, I'm sitting in my office and I'm going to spend the next, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I don't know, just talking out loud and no one is going to talk back to me. This is so weird and it's going to take a bit of practice to get used to it. But I have to do this. If I'm going to do this, I have to get used to it. And Stephen Bartlett told me that I should do this. So who am I to ignore him, right? We'll get into that. If if we backtrack a little bit. So I've been listening to podcasts for a really long time. I love them. I think they're great. They make me laugh. You get the full range of emotions depending on who you're listening to, but I just think they're absolutely fabulous. A great communication tool, a great way to kill time if you want something other than music blasting in your ears. And I've been watching YouTube channels for even longer. And it's always been something that's been of interest to me. I just find it absolutely fascinating that regular people can post online and reach masses and masses and masses just with a click of a button. Just record yourself, film yourself, whatever, click of a button on YouTube and you're out there for the world to hear from and see. And that's so unusual because I've grown up where, like, celebrities, you only ever heard them on the radio or the TV, you only ever read about them like in a magazine. So it's like technology has just come such a long way, and it's just wild to me that regular people can just mind their own business in their own home, the way I'm doing right now, do a recording and put it out there. And I've always joked, like with friends and family, that, you know, my plan B in life is to start a YouTube channel or to start a podcast. And the YouTube thing has always been a joke, but podcasting, if I'm honest, it's kind of niggled away in the back of my mind as something that I actually think would be really great if I did it. And a few years ago, I think during lockdown, yeah, I think it was during lockdown, I did do like a couple of recordings of just me talking about anything and everything that was happening with regards to pop culture, with regards to COVID and the whole lockdown situation. And I did actually post a couple of those onto YouTube and they didn't stay up very long, like they weren't very good. I think I liked the idea, but didn't really have the mindset or the know-how to actually do it. I still don't, if I'm honest, but I just feel like I've been thinking about it for so long, gave it a really weak, feeble attempt and just sort of ditched it. And there was no reason for me not to pick it back up. At the time, I lived with other people, so it was a bit more difficult to find a quiet time to record where there wouldn't be lots of background noise and lots of hustle and bustle in the background. And the idea at the time was when I move into my own place, I would actually have more opportunities to record. And I just never picked it back up. And I don't really know why. But recently it's been on my mind again, like this whole podcast thing. And I was watching YouTube earlier on, and I think I've clicked on like a really old Behind the Diary channel where Stephen Bartlett was basically, I think the title was something like Quit Your 9 to 5 and Make Money Online or something like that. And I made a note of some of the things that he said. And the first point that I've got is start making content. I think this is like roughly 2014-ish. I'm pretty sure he referenced the following year being 2015. So bearing in mind that things have changed since then. But anyway, the first thing he said was start making content. Make content and build a community. And that seems easy enough, right? Start making content. just do the thing that you're interested in, that appeases you. The next point was pick one platform to launch that content on. And I'm thinking YouTube, like it's the platform that I use probably the most in terms of where I digest any kind of online content. The next thing he said was commit to post once a day for the next 90 days. And he said it, and I get why he said it. It's obviously like, consistency, as long as you're there, people will stumble across it. And the more they hear from you, the more likely they're, going to engage with you. And that's how you build your following. But bloody hell, every single day for the next 90 days, that feels like a lot. But I'm prepared to give it a go. I'm going to try. And then he also said, like, if you're going to do it now. Like, do it today, now, not tomorrow, not Monday, not next week, not when you feel like you've got the time. There will never be the right time. Do it now, he said. And I get why. Like, I need to stop doing that. I keep saying like, I just realised. Yeah, like there's nothing to lose. Like I just done it again. Like I'm recording this on my phone. I don't have any special gadgets. I've not gone out and brought like a full recording kit. I'm not in a studio. I'm in my own home in the room where I typically work. So if I record this and I post it and no one views it, that's okay. Like I've not lost anything, right? I'm giving it a go, and hopefully with a bit of luck. I'm not expecting anyone to listen to this straight off the bat, by the way. I don't have an online presence. I'm not going to bring a ton of people over, like from Instagram or whatever, who are following me and are going to listen to this. I'm doing this completely blind, completely from scratch. But my hope would be that if this does build traction, if someone stumbles across podcast number 101 and they like that podcast, hopefully with a bit of luck, they'll come back to the start and actually just listen to the podcast in its entirety. I know I've done it with some of the podcasts that I listen to. So that's kind of my thinking with this right now. What else did he say? Oh, and he also said produce, publish, and pay attention. That comes with kind of, pay attention to where the most likes and clicks are coming from and know what your audience is enjoying. So that's kind of like the background with regards to where I'm at with starting this. I don't have a name for this podcast. So sticking with Stephen Bartlett, I really like the title of his podcast, Diary of a CEO. I love that title. I feel like it's really high impact. So you've got the diary aspect, which feels really personal, and it feels like if you go back to like a very young idea of what a diary is, like when you're in high school and you're writing your diary, all of your thoughts and feelings, it's a very personal thing. But even as you get older, the concept of a diary changes to more of like a calendar diary, like your schedule and stuff, which again feels very personal. And then the CEO aspect of it, that kind of gives the idea of this higher power, faraway person, which ordinarily you shouldn't have access to, but you're about to be let into something. The diary of a CEO. You're about to be let into something of this mystical person who you're not really supposed to have access to. And I just feel like that's just a really great title. It draws you in straight away, almost, it feels like, and you're about to get a glimpse of this incredible person. So I feel like that's a really great title. And I'm kind of leaning towards what kind of title could I come up with that would be along those lines, like really intriguing, really sort of What does this mean? Like, how do I want to know more sort of thing. So at the top of my page here, I've got the Office of dot dot dot. I don't know if that's good or not, or if it's already taken. I might need to do a quick Google and make sure that I don't accidentally come up with a title that someone else already has. So this is how fresh off the bat I'm doing this. I was literally listening to Stephen Bartlett's video about 20 minutes ago. And then I took some pita bread out of the freezer. I'm letting it defrost because I'm going to turn it into like a little mini pizza in the air fryer. And I thought, while I'm waiting, why don't I just do what Stephen Bartlett just told me to do? And I know he wasn't talking to me personally, it was to his entire fan base, his entire audience. But I'm going to take it as, you know, a sign from the heavens above that he was talking to me and telling me to do this. And I've literally just like walked into, I started off in my living room and I have like a bit of a open plan situation down there. And I was like, well, I can't really record here because the refrigerator that I have is quite an old one that the previous owners left. And sometimes it starts making noise, it starts humming. And I figured, well, I don't really want that on my recording. So then I came upstairs to my office, which is at the front of the house, and a car drove by. And I thought, well, I can't really record in here because we get all the traffic from outside. So then I went into the back room and I could hear birds tweeting. That was really annoying. And then I was just like, I need to get out of my own head and stop trying to be so perfect and just record this damn thing. And just sit down. I've got the notes from when I was watching the video earlier, and I just need to sit down and just get recording. So if you do hear cars whooshing by, I apologise. This is like the best room I could find in the house to record from. But yeah, that just kind of gives you a glimpse as to just how sort of off the cuff this is. I've got a couple of I've got a little paragraph here that I'm going to read out because this was me sort of blue sky thinking when I stopped watching the video. So I've literally written down, post the audio of the beginning stages of thinking about the podcast. I have the name nearly, but for now I am unnamed. I'm making notes, listening to Stephen Bartlett's Behind the Diary, that's what it was. And he said to post every day for the next 90 days, starting today. And that's what I'm doing. I heard him. I've been thinking about it for a really long time anyway. I've even tried it and just didn't stick with it and failed miserably. But here I am, giving this another go. And when I say I've been thinking about this for a long time, it has been a long time, like since COVID pretty much. And that was what, 5 years ago? So, and there's no reason whatsoever for me not to have done it other than when I lived with other people and couldn't get away from the noise. But other than that, there is absolutely no reason why I couldn't do exactly what I'm doing right now 2 years ago at the very least. It's wild that I haven't done this sooner. If this does gain traction, I'm gonna think back to this moment in a year's time and kick myself. But yeah, I just thought I would give this a go. It's just been niggling on my mind. I want to do it. I've been wanting to do it. I don't have a full idea as to where exactly I'm going to take this, but if I don't start, I'm never going to. So this is me starting. There's also like another personal aspect of why I do this, because I think a lot of people, when they start recording themselves for things like podcasts and they listen back on themselves, that's when you really learn how you come across when you speak and how impactful or not impactful you are. And there's a few things that I know that I do that I really want to try and train out of me. So the first thing, which I've been doing all throughout this recording so far, I'm 14 minutes and 50 seconds in, I've been doing it from the start, is that I use a lot of filler words, such as like. If somebody wants to count how many times I use the word like in this podcast, feel free to do so and leave it in the comments below. I'm sure it's going to be high up there. But yeah, I use a lot of filler words and I want to stop doing that. I just don't think it sounds great. I just don't think it takes away from the impact of what you're saying. It just doesn't sound like you're very convincing when you speak. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of lots and lots of fillers, and I'm very conscious that I do that. Another thing that I want to do is just to slow down my speech, because I speak very quickly. And the reason I speak very quickly is because my mind is already on the next topic, cooking up the next thing that I want to say before I've even said the thing that I'm currently trying to say. And I just need to slow down and be in the present a bit more, so I can land my point. And I don't mind pausing. I don't mind, and I guess that kind of links back to the filler words as well. I just want to slow it down a bit more and be a bit more thoughtful in the words that I say. And I feel like I'm consciously doing it now as I say it. Stop speaking so fast and just take those extra couple of seconds longer to find the word and say it. And don't ramble. Land the point and keep it moving. But don't jibber jabber, say something and then have to come back to the first thing because you didn't quite deliver the point and then get back to the rest of the story. I know I do that quite a lot when I'm storytelling. I'm not the best storyteller, but I've got lots of really good stories to tell. I just don't deliver them very well. So yeah, I consciously want to slow down my speech, not to a drawl. Like, I'm not trying to bore people to death, right? But just enough where I'm landing the point. So it's things like that I want to improve upon myself. So even if I don't get anything else out of this podcast, even if it doesn't really turn into, even if it doesn't turn into this major podcast or whatever it may be, at the very least, I want to hear myself back and improve on my own speaking skills, because I just think that's such a valuable skill to have in general. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell, initial thinkings for this podcast. How amazing would it be if this does actually turn into something and I can come back and listen to this very first podcast? Oh, who knows? But anyway, I feel like that's everything that I wanted to say now. This is literally just me having a slight kick up the bum moment and just get out there and do it and stop wasting time and stop putting barriers in my own way. If I have an idea and it's not going to cause any harm and it's not going to cost me, why not just give it a go and see what happens, see where it lands? So yeah, that's me for now until tomorrow. I'm going to go away and re-listen to this and see if I can figure out how to do any editing if I need to. My pita bread has probably defrosted by now, so I'm going to get to making my little pizza pita bread, have some dinner, and yeah, upload this and maybe come back tomorrow. And I've got no idea. No, not maybe come back tomorrow. I am going to come back tomorrow because Stephen told me to. I'm going to come back tomorrow with another recording, another podcast, because that's what we're calling this. Hopefully I'll have a name by then. We shall see. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I've got no idea what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, so I better figure it out. But for now, I need to get today's podcast up and loaded. So take care. See you soon. Bye.